We live in a world that absolutely glorifies the grind, right? We're constantly told to sacrifice sleep for success. But what if that whole idea is fundamentally wrong? Today, we're going to challenge that burnout mindset. We're going to reframe rest not as some kind of luxury, but as a biological necessity for elite performance. Let's dig in. So, on one hand, you've got the story our culture loves to tell, the burnout mindset, where sleep is basically seen as a lazy habit. But on the other side, you have the architect's reality. For anyone thinking strategically, sleep is non-negotiable performance recovery. And look, this isn't just a different opinion, it's the difference between a deeply flawed approach and one that's actually backed by biology. All right, so let's start by really tearing down this flawed design for success, what we're calling the burnout blueprint. At its heart, hustle culture is built on a total myth that you can just trade your hours of sleep for more hours of productivity. But this completely ignores how we're actually built. Think about it. It's like trying to run a high-performance engine without ever stopping to change the oil. Sooner or later, that system is going to break down. And this is where the idea of being a quiet architect comes into play. See, this is the person who gets it. They operate from a place of deep understanding, knowing that rest has nothing to do with weakness or laziness. No, it's a strategic, absolutely vital recovery mode. It's the time you use to reset and rebuild the very systems that allow you to think clearly and stay emotionally stable. But ignoring this need for recovery, well, it's not a neutral choice. It comes with a very real cost. We are talking about straight-up biological sabotage. The way this is framed is so important. This isn't just about feeling a little tired. It's an active form of self-sabotage. Pushing yourself past your point of peak efficiency doesn't make you more productive. It actually starts to dismantle your ability to perform at all. And this sabotage, it comes with a heavy psychological tax. We're talking about burnout that feels impossible to escape from, emotional instability where you can't seem to regulate your own moods, a massive drop in your ability to focus, and underneath it all, a compromised nervous system that is just stuck in high alert mode. You're not just tired, you are literally operating on a faulty internal network. Okay, enough about the problem. Let's flip this and talk about the solution. What is actually happening behind the scenes when you get proper rest? This is the unseen reinforcement, the process that rebuilds your mind night after night. Every single day, your brain navigates an unbelievable amount of what we call cognitive complexity. Just think of your mind as a supercomputer, constantly gathering this dense web of variables and data points. But all that data is pretty much useless unless it gets processed, right? Well, that's what rest is for. It is the essential downtime your brain needs to decode the day. And that leads us right to biological recovery. This is not passive. It's an active, powerful process where high-quality sleep sharpens your decision-making, it restores your mental energy, and it sorts through all that cognitive chaos. For anyone who has to solve intricate problems, this isn't optional. It's absolutely fundamental to your success. So, on a biological level, a really crucial shift happens when we rest. When we're awake, our brain is humming along in beta waves. That's the active, problem-solving state. But during proper rest, it shifts down into alpha waves. This is the recovery state. This is where creative insights pop up and emotional balance gets restored. You have to have this mental downshift to maintain your long-term psychological health. Okay, so if we're going to be these quiet architects of our own lives, we're going to need some tools. So let's open up the Architect's Toolkit and see how you can master your own recovery. And remember, we're not talking about simple little sleep hacks here. Mastering the architecture of your rest is a hallmark of true biological optimization. It's about intentionally designing a system that works with your specific biology to produce consistent, high-level results, day in and day out. So here are the key tools to build that system. First up, you've got the 90-minute rule. This is all about timing your sleep in 90-minute cycles, so you wake up at the end of a cycle, feeling refreshed, not groggy. Next, there's the 3-2-1 power down rule. No food 3 hours before bed, no liquids 2 hours before, and 0 screens for that final hour. And finally, maybe the most crucial of all, aligning your entire schedule with your natural circadian rhythm. That means sleeping and waking at the same time every day, so you're working with your body's internal clock, not fighting against it. Ultimately, using these tools isn't just about changing your behavior. It's about building an entirely new foundation, a new mindset for cultivating a stronger, more resilient mind. So you really do have a choice. On one side, you have the social performance of looking busy, which is all about appearances. And on the other, you have the scientific reality, which is about choosing substance and science. Prioritizing your rest is making a deliberate choice. It's choosing real substance over shallow performance. And this, right here, perfectly captures the entire idea. Making your biological recovery a priority, it's like reinforcing the hidden steel frame of a skyscraper. You don't see that reinforcement from the outside, but believe me, it is the only thing that ensures the entire structure stays standing when the high winds of stress and complexity start to blow. So, if there's one thing you walk away with, let it be this. Your most valuable assets, your emotional stability, your intellectual horsepower, your creativity, they don't come from grinding longer hours. They are forged directly in the lab of your rest. It is the true source of your power. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. You are the architect of your own mind, your energy, and your life. The real question is the foundation you're building designed to last?